As an Aggie walk-on from Snow College in 2001, wide receiver Kevin Curtis led the nation with more than 9 catches a game and was third nationally in receiving yards. He also set Aggie's season records in those categories. His Aggie career lasted 2 years, but he still finished first in career catches per game and second in total career catches and career yards. He played 9 years in the National Football League.
Well, I think of all my memories here at Utah State is, some of my fondest memories are just the guys I played with. My teammates and friends. And I know I came here right before the season started and redshirted, and to be able to watch Aaron Jones, actually a fellow wideout, I really looked up to him and the type of player he was, and I learned a lot from him just watching him. And he's a guy that I kind of envisioned being like Aaron, and then when I actually started playing, to have a guy like Emmett White. It's easy to lead the reception when they got the whole defense on Emmett. My job was easy with guys like that around me. So I think, without question, the players around me, I admire and I had a lot of respect for, and I know were a big part in any success I had. I think one of the games I remember the most was just my first game. I think it had been almost 4 years since I played a game. When you go with 2 years on a mission, a year of redshirting, and you go by the season. So I think one of my most memorable games was just my first game. We played down at Utah, and I believe first play of the game, they had 12 guys on the field, of course, but Jose hooked up at deep post and was able to come and make the catch. Well, I'll never forget my first mini camp there when I got to St. Louis, because I was surrounded with Hall of Fame caliber players, and so I was a little intimidated. Wasn't quite sure if I belonged there. It's kind of how I felt. And as I started watching guys like Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt run routes, I felt like I was an offensive lineman trying to run a route. I had no idea there was that much growth that I needed to learn as a wide receiver and as a route runner. And so it was a little overwhelming at first, but I can't think of a better situation as a young guy to be put in that situation, to have Hall of Fame caliber players to watch every day. So I kind of just took it all in, and from day one was just going to watch everything they did. And these are guys that had success at the highest level. So it was, I think it was a big part of developing in the NFL, is being able to watch those guys. After the 2010 season, I'd been frustrated with injuries a few seasons before, so I felt like I had more in the tank, and so that was a big reason why I came back from cancer. I wanted to get back and play another season. And so after finishing that season, I kind of knew I was getting to a point in my career where I didn't want to just keep getting hurt. So I kind of told myself, let's go one more year and see how it goes. And so I had worked out, and I was planning on playing one more season. And I felt great. Everything was good. And I felt, once I got to training camp in Tennessee, I started considering, I may have a few more years in me. And then, I get the fluke broken hand injury, which was, up to that point, things were looking really good. And it was the healthiest I'd felt in years, And so that's just sort of how it goes sometimes, Sometimes luck's on your side, sometimes it's not. And I just reached a point where 3 seasons in a row with injuries, I still felt great, but sometimes on paper, if you're 30 years old and keep getting injured, it makes it tougher to get into situations that you want to be in. And ultimately, as much as I love playing, it was hard to walk away. I felt like, I want to walk away healthy. I think fondly on the years that I was up here. I was here for almost 3 full years, and you mentioned about when I got the call, for a school that's kind of given me so much, and the opportunities that it's availed me, you know, outside of, you know, after graduating, you know, I can never pay back. So it's pretty humbling that, you know, they'd be honoring me when, you know, they've given so much to me. I think of, you know, I just coming here as a guy that wanted to play football and to get an education, to meet all the coaches and just, you know, fellow students and teammates are some of my best friends. And so it'll always be a special place in my heart, you know, when I think of Logan and the years spent here. And, you know, it was a platform that gave me opportunities to do things I dreamed of, you know, as a kid. So, you know, it's obviously, you know, I always call it God's country when I have a few friends that complain about having to come up here to work, and I'm just like, I would refer to it as, you know, God's country, because it's just it's a place that's pretty special to me.